Right guys, doing a bit of a review of my S1000RR. This is a long-term review. Finally gotten off my ass and decided to do this. I know a few people have asked for this. So yeah, this is the bike. I've owned it for, I want to say 3 or 4 years, probably going on 4-ish years now, somewhere around that time. It's been an awesome bike. I think now it's got about 40,000 Ks on it, something like that. And it's just been really good. So my options when I was looking were this, obviously the BMW S1000RR, Yamaha R1, which I wasn't super keen on, but I was looking at kind of 2016 and onwards because I like that shape. Other bikes I was considering were the MV Agusta F4RR, which I think is an absolutely beautiful bike, but there's a couple of reasons why I didn't go with those, electrical gremlins and things like that. But I rode a couple of these, not too many, I think 2 or 3, and they were just so good for someone of my height. Like, I'm not super tall, I'm probably about 5'9". The seat height on this is perfect for someone around my height. It's not tall at all. The most comfortable bikes for a shorter rider like me were this and the GSX-R 1000. I was looking at those as well, anywhere from K5 to K8. I think the newer ones than that, not a fan of them, and the earlier ones, not a fan either. But yeah, this is the bike. I'll do a little walk around for you so you guys can see what it is. So yeah, this is it. Like I said, owned it for about 3 or 4 years or so. During that time, it's been amazing. I've never had any issues with it in terms of maintenance or breakdowns or anything like that. It's just been flawless. So what I do with my servicing, and I think part of the reason why this bike has been so flawless, is I'm very OCD with my servicing. I'll do it at the dealership every 5,000 Ks, and then I'll also service the bike about every 2 to 2,500 Ks, either at the dealership again, or I'll do it myself if I don't have time to get to the dealership, or I don't want the bike off the road for like a day or two. I grab all the stuff from BMW. It's $30 for a genuine BMW oil filter, and the oil that I put in this is Castrol Power One Racing full synthetic. I think that's what they call it. Never had an issue. Runs awesome, and you really feel it when you put the new oil in it more frequently. The bike does love it. Runs better, smoother idle, way smoother shifting as well. And let's face it, don't be a tight ass, just spend the extra $100 or so that it's going to cost you just to do it, and also for that peace of mind, because the oil is the lifeblood of your engine, and if you stooge out on that and put cheap shit in, it'll come back to bite you. So yeah, never had an issue. What I'd say is keep the servicing up to it, do it more frequently, spend the extra money. I think BMW recommend about every 10,000 K services, which is just ridiculous. It's way too far. I know the guy at the dealership, the mechanic, said we recommend 10,000 in the logbook from the factory, but he said the way you ride the bike really varies depending on how long you can leave it. He said if you're tracking it or you ride it like it should be ridden, no way you want to leave it that long. I don't even leave my daily driver more than 10,000 Ks before I change the oil and filter. So there's no way on this bike that gets ridden properly. There's no way I'm going to leave it more than that. So things that have been done to the bike, because that's the thing that I get asked most by people. So the colour, is Nardo grey off an Audi car. It's an Audi colour. Originally I saw I think it was an RS6 in this colour, Nardo grey, from the factory. Really liked it, so I thought, fuck it, I'll buy a second set of fairings. I'll get them sprayed and whack them on. So the spray painting I got done professionally, and the installation, like taking apart the bike and putting it back together, I did all of that. So I've got some pictures and stuff. If I can find them, I'll put them up there. But basically the bike was stripped down to just like a frame and wheels and whatnot, and I put it back together. Wasn't a big job, it was just like a day job, but I love it, love the colour. I mean, in darker light like this, it looks that kind of nardo grey colour, but the way the painter did it, they did such a good job that if you've got like direct sunlight on it, it looks almost like a silvery white in some light. They did a fantastic job of it. I love this angle from here. So other kind of more visual things on it, it's got a genuine carbon fibre front guard. That's a really nice piece. It weighs about a third of what the original guard weighs. The original guard's not heavy, but this one's just ridiculous. It's literally a third when I weighed it. What else have I done visually? Rear guard as well. That's carbon, also weighs about a third of the original. Now this one also has an integrated chain guard in this as well, because I didn't want to put this nice thing on there and then have that shitty factory chain guard on there, or even an aftermarket one. So this, believe it or not, was one of the hardest pieces to find. Nowadays they do make knockoff versions of that, but this is one of the original pieces that was super hard to find. But I'm sure now if you jump on eBay or something, you can find that, you know, anywhere. Other visual things, I guess, I don't know if you call Ogie knobs or R&G sliders visual things, but yeah, that's basically the visual stuff that I've done on it. I've got some adjustable levers on here. They're CRGs. They're really good. They work for me. Some people don't like shorties, but I think they're fantastic. Other things I've done in terms of, I guess, other mods to the bike, I've got attack performance rear sets. These things are fantastic. I have ridden S1000s with factory rear sets and different aftermarket rear sets. These are worth the money. They are expensive, but they're super well built. Like, this is all milled out of a piece of billet, as is this. Little carbon heel plates as well. Looks cool, but they're an awesome bit of kit. A lot of adjustability as well. You can put them up or down, back and forward. Really good things. Very comfortable for me. Perfect for my riding position and style. Other things I've done, obviously it's got the full Akrapovic or Akrapovic, however you want to say it, full titanium exhaust. So that's the headers, mid pipe, and obviously the can. This is the titanium can. I much prefer it to the carbon one. It is, I think, about the same weight, or it might even be marginally lighter than the carbon can, but they're much of a muchness. This thing makes an awesome sound. I was going to go with the Acura full system with the shorty can, and I'd heard other S1000s with the shorty can, and I've ridden other S1000s with the shorty can, and when you're doing about 100, 110 k's an hour, which is about 60, 65 miles an hour, the shorty can's really drone. So I didn't want to do my head in. Plus, I think the long can actually makes a little bit more torque from what I've seen. Not that that matters, these things have all the power in the world, but yeah, that's why I went with this. Sounds great, also goes a bit purple as well when it heats up. I don't know if you can see that too well in the light now, but that's awesome. What else? Put the little Acura carbon, I guess it's like a heel guard or a foot guard on there. Bit of a wank, but it looks cool. What else? I love my R&G sliders. They're well built. I think they're the only company, or one of the only companies, that builds a proper slider for these Acura cans, and that's fantastic. Got that on there. What else? We got the RNG sliders, or Ogie knobs, whatever you want to call them, but yeah, RNG sliders. They're fantastic. They will save your ass if you have a crash. GB Racing case cover. I went with this case cover because I like it and I think it's cool. They were not all that common when I put them on probably 3 years ago, but now every Tom, Dick and Harry has those on there, so I reckon I'll leave them on there. But yeah, everyone seems to have them now. What else have I done? I think that's it. It's got a BMC filter as well. I might be changing that to a Sprint filter. No particular reason other than the BMC filter is oiled and the Sprint filter is a dry filter. I personally always put dry filters in all of my bikes and cars. It's just that this had the BMC filter in there. Never had an issue with it, but I've been thinking about switching over, so maybe I'll do that. A dry filter is just easier. It's less maintenance. Other things I've done, don't know if you'll be able to see, but I've got some radiator guards here. Probably can't see shit because it's way too dark, but yeah, I've got some rad guards there. So one for the I think that's the oil cooler, and then the radiator there. Also got some upgraded pads. They're the EBC track bias pads. Fantastic. I've never had brake fade at the track, definitely not on the street. They're fine when they're cold as well. I've just got stock pads in the back because you obviously don't do that much braking in the back when you're riding hard. It's mainly the front. But yeah, they work extremely well. And when they wear out, I will be switching over and putting another set of those EBCs in there because they're fantastic. Not sponsored by EBC, but just saying, if you want to sponsor me, happy to use your stuff. What else have I done? I think that's about it. Other things that I do, I change the brake fluid about every year to 18 months. I change that. Coolant, probably every year to 2 years I change that. I use all genuine stuff. I just buy it straight from the dealer. Yes, I know I'm probably paying a little more than I should, but peace of mind. So yeah, works for me. Other things, got the tinted raised or bubble screen, which I don't know, kind of looks cool, doesn't really do much. It's also got smoked indicators instead of the clear ones. These are a factory BMW part. They've just got a smoked lens on them rather than the clear one. I kind of prefers it. I kind of prefer it. Now, yeah, I think that's about it for the bike, for stuff that I've done to it, but that's it. Hope you guys like it. I'll take it for a little ride and I guess give you my opinions and impressions on how it rides. Alrighty, we'll see you there. It does make a nice sound, as you can probably hear. So, BMW S1000RR. This review kind of applies to 2010 to 2014. They're all much of a muchness. They're pretty much the same thing. So, my long-term opinion of this bike. In short, would I do it again? Yes, I would do it all again. The exact same way. I love this bike. It's been fantastic. I've never had an issue with it. It goes like a scolded dog. It's just a fantastic bike. Really reliable. All I do is throw fuel in it, service it frequently, runs like an absolute dream. Yeah, definitely buy another one. What will I go to after this? Well, I kind of always want to have an S1000RR, whether it's this exact one and I just keep it forever because it's that good a bike and it's got all the power in the world, I don't need any more, or whether I sell this and get another one of the 2010 to 2014 models. I'm not a huge fan of the later ones, the 2015 onwards, where they changed the shape a little bit. The only thing I like about those is that the 15 onwards have the factory quick shift up and also quick shift down, whereas this only has the quick shift up. Never had an issue with the downshift, always works fine, but it'd be kind of cool to have quick shift on the downshift. Not that I really need it, but kind of cool to have. So yeah, I would always keep an S1000 just because it's been such a good bike to me. Like I was saying, the bikes I was considering, BMW S1000RR, wasn't really considering a Ducati, not a big fan of them. Great bike, but just not my kind of thing. GSX R1000, only certain year models. R1 Yamaha from the, I think, 2015, 2016 onwards, whenever they changed the body shape to the newer shape, the current one. And that was about it, really. I knew I wanted 1000, something with good torque for the street and enough power so you can have some fun. Any things that I would change or upgrade on this bike? Yeah, I would like to, if I keep this exact bike, I would like to put some HP wheels on it, the BMW HP wheels. Otherwise, maybe some carbon wheels or something like that, just to lighten it up a bit. I think the bike now weighs about 190-ish kilos with fuel and fluids, which is pretty light. Another thing that I've done to it, which I forgot to mention, is I pissed off the factory battery because I think it just wasn't kicking over. Well, it was probably old, been in there since new, so I pissed that off. I got a lightweight lithium battery. The lithium battery that I put in there weighs nothing. Like, we're talking 300 grams or something ridiculous. You could really feel it. Like, it was a huge difference between the factory battery that I took out and the new one I put in. I think that cost about $200, $300, something like that. At least it gets some extra weight off the bike. Other things that I have done, I don't know if you call it a mod, I've currently got Metzler Racetech RR K3s on here. Fantastic tyre. So far, they're my favourite street / track tyre that I've ever had. Even better than the Pirelli Supercourses that I used to have on this. And that's really saying something. The Metzlers, they just seem to heat up a bit quicker. I can really trust them. Straight from the first track day I did on them, I just felt really comfortable. Great tyre. Don't have to run super low pressures on them. They seem to work fine on the track at reasonable pressures, so you don't have to run them too low. I'll do a full review on these tyres and my opinion of them and other tyres that I've ridden on other bikes and this bike in the future. But yeah, big step up over the factory tyre, which I think was also a Metzler, but I think it was an M7 or something like that. I have no clue what this person's doing. No clue at all. I don't know if they knew what they were doing. But yeah, what else? That's really it. The other things that I've done, which you wouldn't really call them mods, but I have had their suspension adjusted so it's set up for the track. It is on the firmer side of the settings for this bike. Like at the moment this is cranked up to 8 out of 10, and I've done everything, the front, the rear. Rides perfectly for my weight and how I ride. I really like it, but it's super plush on the street. Like it's firm, but it's still compliant. Like it doesn't bounce you around too much. Very happy with it. In terms of speed and acceleration, that's probably what everyone wants to know about these thousands. This bike is quick. It's properly quick. So it's got the filter, which I don't really know if it adds that much power, maybe 2 or 3 horsepower realistically. The exhaust, which is the biggest power adder on this, because you get rid of the cat as well and get rid of that restriction. It's been tuned. Woo! Nice little jump there. Yeah, so it's been tuned. Runs fantastic. This thing will go all the way straight into the red line in 6th gear. No problem at all. You'll be doing 300 plus as long as you got the balls to stay on it. It's a quick bike. It's not scary, I wouldn't say that. If you've ridden other thousands before, like this is a lot more predictable to me anyway than say a Ducati 1000 or 1200 or whatever you're riding. This just to me is a much more predictable bike. Other nice amenities, I guess, or features that this bike has: factory quick shifter, like I said, combined braking, ABS braking. So not in slick mode obviously, but in the other modes you've got combined braking, which is nice. So if you hit the front brake, it will automatically hit the rear brake. Different modes that you've got on this: you've got rain mode, self-explanatory. That dumbs the horsepower down to I think about 150 horsepower. Very tardy throttle response, a very slow throttle response. What else? You got sport mode, which is kind of normal mode. That's full power, but the throttle response is a little bit softer. Traction control, wheelie control are a little bit more aggressive when they come in, as in they'll stop you before things get out of hand. Then you got the mode that I normally ride, well, the mode I always ride in, race mode, which is just a bit sharper throttle response. The throttle on race is quite nice. Traction control and wheelie control are a little bit more dumbed down, so it will let you get a little bit more of a wheelie. I think it will let you do 5 seconds or so. I don't know, whatever it is, but if you hit this button over here, the DTC button or ABS or whatever it is, you can turn it off and you can wheelie for as long as you want if you like to do that kind of stuff. Which, yeah, so it's got all those nice little things there. Kind of makes it easier to ride. Makes you a little bit lazy, I guess, compared to the bikes I'm used to, because this is the first bike I've had with all of that suite of traction control and ABS and this and that. It's also got a shift light and other cool little things like that. You can adjust when the shift light comes on, other things. It's got a lap timer. It's a great bike, and the value for money in these I think is just fantastic. Like brand new in Australia, these are about 26,000 Australian dollars for a new S1000RR, which is, I think, is pretty decent value, because the Suzukis and the Hondas and that, they've been getting a lot more expensive over the years. and the S1000RR hasn't actually jumped up much in price for a base one from what they were when they originally launched them in Australia. So I think they're a great bang for buck. I would definitely do it all over again, and if for some reason I get rid of this one, I will get another S1000, and if I get another bike, maybe it'll be, I don't know, something else, maybe a supermoto, maybe a MV Agusta, maybe an old Ducati, because I like those. But for now, I'm super happy with this bike. I've gone through a lot of bikes, not because I crash them, just because that's what I used to do. And this is, I think, the longest that I've kept a bike. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Can't speak highly enough of the S1000. But yeah, this is my little review, long-term review on the bike. If you're thinking about it, pull the trigger, get one. You won't regret it. I shall see you in the next one, guys. Catch ya.